Protests disintegrating into mayhem outside the Israeli Prime Minister's residence. As you can see in these tense scenes, some of the demonstrators attempting to break through security barriers in an anti-corruption demonstration. Using water cannons and mounted police charging at the protesters, officers trying to disperse the thousands-strong gathering. These Israelis are calling on Benjamin Netanyahu to quit over his indictment on corruption charges, shouting "Go home, Bibi," and holding signs reading "You are detached, we are fed up." They're referring to the charges the PM faces of fraud and breach of trust in 3 cases and bribery in 1 of them. He denies wrongdoing, saying the charges are part of an effort by political opponents, the media and law enforcement to remove him from office. The video you're looking at is one of several social protests that took place at the same time across the country. 50 protesters have been arrested and 1 officer wounded. Hello, I'm Tracy Alexander and welcome to the ILTV Morning Brief. Well, it's only a matter of time until another nationwide lockdown, if you're asking Israel's health ministry officials. The coronavirus numbers are soaring. Late Tuesday, the stats showed more than 1,700 people were diagnosed since Monday. That's the highest number seen in any 24-hour period, with 183 serious cases, 56 on ventilators, and the death toll sits at 371. Now, the government is struggling to agree on what to do about restrictions. Netanyahu met with several top ministers and experts overnight. They're reportedly discussing further limiting social gatherings from 20 down to 10. Recommendations were reportedly given by the National Security Council to close restaurants, beaches, synagogues and yeshivas. But the meeting ended with nothing decided. Now, Netanyahu is apparently furious at his blue and white coalition partner, Benny Gantz, who recommended that it's best to wait another week to see if the latest round of restrictions has any effect before moving forward with further measures. Both Likud members and blue and white members are accusing each other of playing political games. Well, the truth has finally come out after thousands of Israelis were left baffled after receiving text messages forcing them to enter quarantine, warning them that they had been in contact with a confirmed COVID-19 carrier. It turns out at least 12,000 of the tens of thousands who received the text were a mistake. The Health Ministry admitting to the error, which took place in the first week after the Shin Bet credit card and phone tracking system was reintroduced. Tens of thousands of Israelis tried to appeal the order, and the Health Ministry said some 54% of those were approved. Now, Shin Bet head Nadav Argaman had told the cabinet last month that the technologies being used to track the movement of infected people is actually intended for counter-terrorism operations and aren't meant to be used to track civilians en masse. So the high rate of error is being put down to the technology not being able to discern whether 2 people actually are within 6 feet of each other or not. Now, this is some technology that's being used as it should, marking a giant leap for Israel's space industry. Israel's newest spy satellite has begun beaming back its first pictures, a week after launching the OFEC-16 into orbit. Remember this? But sadly, the Defence Ministry isn't releasing the images to the public, rather releasing a statement saying that the satellite cameras have been activated for the first time, downloading initial photographs of incredible quality from the satellite to an Israeli aerospace industry's control centre. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, for his part, saying last Monday's successful launch increases Israel's ability to act against the country's enemies and expands the ability to act on land, at sea, in the air and also in space. Right, that is it from us this morning. But before we go, we want to hear from you. On our daily Facebook poll, every day we lay out 2 Israeli foods, places, experiences or famous exports and ask you to pick which you love more. It's a great way for us to get to know you and a fun way to get more acquainted with Israel's favourite things. Today's favourite face-off really hits on the hard issues we're debating here in Israel as to whether hummus is a meal or just a dip. It's very new to people who moved to Israel to sit down for an enormous bowl of hummus when outside of Israel we're more used to adding it to a sandwich or using it as a dip for our carrot sticks. So head to our Facebook page to cast your vote. Which do you prefer? Hummus as a meal or hummus as a dip? And we will reveal the results tomorrow. We'll see you then.